Hello friends, my name is Oluwale Godwin and welcome to MOG Economics. Today we shall be talking about marginal utility and total utility. Okay, so utility itself is simply the satisfaction that a consumer derives from the consumption of a commodity. Okay, so if you buy a phone, okay, it makes you happy, you are satisfied about the phone. Okay, so you have some amount of utility. You buy a book, you buy a house, you get anything. Okay, so the satisfaction that you derive from it is what we call utility. Okay, so today we're talking about two sides of utility, which is the total utility and the marginal utility. Okay, we shall be talking about the relationship that exists between them mathematically and even graphically. All right, so okay, marginal utility is the satisfaction or the additional satisfaction that a consumer derives from consuming one more unit of a commodity. Okay, so we have a table here. So this is quantity, total utility, and the marginal utility. Okay, so there is a way we have the total utility here. So there's a way we can derive our marginal utility from the total utility and the respective quantities. Okay, so marginal utility is simply the change in total utility. Okay, this triangle represents a change divided by a change in quantity. Okay, so where this change is simply the new total utility, okay, minus the old total utility divided by the new quantity minus the old quantity. So when we start from quantity zero, okay, total utility is just zero. There is no, can we call this new, can we call this old? Alright, so because of that, the marginal utility at quantity zero is simply a dash. Okay, we just put a dash there. Alright, then we come to the first quantity. So immediately the consumer consumes a unit of the commodity. So what then is the total utility? What then is the marginal utility? So marginal utility is simply the total. This is the new total utility now. Okay, when our consumer is consuming 1 unit of the commodity. Okay, 20. Okay, we subtract 0 from it. Okay, and then 1. Then we subtract 0 from which is simply 20. Okay, so we do that on and on and on until we complete the table. Here we go. This is what we have now. So second marginal utility is simply 35. Okay, minus 22. Okay, so this 35 is simply the sum of the utility derived from the consumption of the first good and the second good. Okay, so we have 35 then minus 20. Okay, 35 minus 20 divided by 2 minus 1. Okay, which is 15. And on like that until we get to a point where the marginal utility is 0. Okay, so this point is simply telling us that the additional consumption of this particular commodity, let us say it is food or maybe a particular drink, does not give the consumer any satisfaction. Okay, so it's of no use to consume up to that amount. Okay, then after that, we then observe that the marginal utility then is minus 3. Okay, this is 60. The new total utility subtracted. Okay, we subtract the old total utility minus from the new total utility. Okay, then 7 minus 6. Okay, that's what we have, which is minus 3. Okay, so that is simply telling us that our consumer derives a negative satisfaction, that is a dissatisfaction from the consumption of 1 more unit of the commodity. So if it were food, okay, so at quantity 7, okay, it simply means that our consumer is having side effects from the consumption of the good. Okay, the side effect would be vomiting, that is, our consumer is taking too much, or inability to sleep, or something of that sort. Okay, so that is the meaning of the negative satisfaction. Okay, so there is a side effect to, there is a side effect that accompanies the additional satisfaction of the commodity. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do now is to draw a graph that shows the total utility and the marginal utility. Then we talk about the wonderful relationship that exists between the two. Here we go. This is the graph. So we have total utility this way. Then we have marginal utility that is downward sloping. So we need to note some things. The first is the total utility and the marginal utility. They are equal at the very first unit. Okay, so the highest amount of satisfaction that the consumer derives, okay, comes from the very first unit. Okay, and this is why we have 20. So additional ones are going to be reducing in, the amount of satisfaction. Additional ones are, they are going to be reducing the amount of satisfaction that the consumer derives as he consumes more of the commodity. Okay, so another thing that we need to note is that the total utility curve is steep at first. before it becomes gentle later on, before getting to the maximum point and then downward sloping. So why is it steep at first? It is steep at first because the marginal utility is reducing little by little. Okay, the marginal utility is not reducing so fast as our consumer consumes more of the commodity. Okay, for example, when the consumer was consuming 1 unit of the commodity, okay, so total marginal utility was 20. Okay, so when it started consuming the second commodity, it derived 15. It derived the marginal utility of 15 from that. Then, so okay, so we discovered that marginal utility isn't decreasing that fast. Okay, so that is why we have along this side a steep slope. The slope becomes gentle later on when marginal utility starts to decrease at a very fast rate. Okay, so we have look at quantity 4. The marginal utility there was 10, then the next 6, which is a minus 4, then the next 0, that is a minus 6, then the next minus 3, okay, where it has eventually entered the negative side. Okay, so we are just talking about all of these parts. Okay, all of these parts. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we are talking about from quantity 4, 5, 6. Okay, 4, 5, 6. All right. Before it starts to slope downwards again. Okay, so the first part of the total utility curve is steep. Okay, and it is steep because the marginal utility is reducing slowly. Okay, and then the other part is gentle because the marginal utility is reducing at a faster rate. Okay, then there's also something about this total utility curve, which is simply the fact that total utility is increasing but at a decreasing rate. Okay, it is increasing. We can see that at first it increases up to the maximum point, but then it is not increasing at a very fast rate. Okay, it is increasing at a decreasing rate. Look at it. Total utility was 20 before. It became 35. That is a plus 15. Okay, it became 47. That is a plus 12. Okay, 15, 12. So those are decreasing numbers. Then 57 a plus 10, 63 a plus 6. 63 again, so nothing at all. Okay, so you can see that the difference, okay, is reducing. Okay, although it's a plus to total utility, but then it is reducing the rate at which the total utility is increasing. Okay, another thing that we should note is that the sum of the marginal utilities give us the total utility. Okay, so we have 20 plus 15 is 35. Okay, 20 plus 15 plus 12 is 47. 20 plus 15 plus 12 plus 10 is 57, on and on like that. Okay, so when we add all of this together, we are going to have 60. So that is why we say the sum of the marginal utilities will give us the total utility. Okay, so there's this other part that we need to note, which is the maximum point of the total utility curve. So when the total utility reaches its maximum, it simply means that the consumer derives zero satisfaction from the consumption of an additional good. Okay, so which is what we have here. So at quantity 5, okay, so we have 63. Then quantity 6, we have 63 as well, which means an increase in the consumption of this commodity from 5 to 6, that is by 1, does not change the satisfaction that the consumer derives from the good at all. Okay, so when that happens, total utility is said to be at the maximum point. So the next thing that can happen after a maximum point, of course, is a decrease. Okay, a decrease of the curve. Okay, so and that is where the marginal utility now becomes negative, which was what we explained earlier. Okay, so where our marginal utility becomes negative is simply the point where an additional consumption of the commodity is going to lead to a dissatisfaction. So it's not a satisfaction now, it's going to lead to a dissatisfaction. Okay, and I mentioned the case of food. So if it were food, okay, so it simply means if our consumer starts to consume 7 plates or 7 spoonfuls of some food, okay, instead of 6, okay, so he or she might start to vomit, or he or she might have a sleepless night. Okay, so that simply means that this individual has consumed too much to the extent that the additional consumption does not help him or her at all. Okay, so we've come to the end of the class. Thank you very much for viewing. If you have any questions, please do not forget to leave them in the comment section. We'd like to attend to them as quickly as possible. Share this with your friends, like the video, and please subscribe to the channel for more informative and educative videos. Thank you very much once again. Bye bye.